The hospitality industry has always been a frontrunner in terms of crafting exceptional customer experiences. Technologies like CRM or customer relationship management and customer analytics are transforming the industry. In this episode of the Zista Podcast, we're going to dive deeper into this subject matter. Welcome to the Zista Podcast, where we invite industry professionals and academicians to answer questions that students have within a specific subject area. In today's episode, we're going to be focusing on how customer analytics is shaping the hospitality industry. Joining me today is Dilpreet Singh, an absolute business leader in this space. He is currently the head of CRM loyalty and partnerships at ITC Hotels, and he's worked with amazing brands like Oberoi Hotels, Amex, Domino's, and Aon Hewitt. Welcome to the podcast, Dilpreet. So happy to have you here with us today.
Thank you, Amit.
So I was hoping that we'd get straight to the point, and I want to ask you a little bit about how customer loyalty programs and initiatives have evolved in the hospitality industry specifically.
Okay. So, Amit, before moving to the loyalty aspect, so I would say today when everyone is talking about customer experience, so I personally believe the origin of the CX, which is the customer experience, is hospitality industry.
Right.
Because it operates on the fundament of home away from home. You want someone to understand your needs and serve you basis your needs and preferences. And I believe hospitality industry is something which is doing it right. And to me, hospitality industry is all about the experiences. Unfortunately, or fortunately, you can say the service recovery is not an option when you are in the hospitality industry. Once the customer experience is hampered, I would say no level of discount or freebies would be able to compensate the bad experience which you have. That's the reason that the hotel have to do it right every time to enhance the customer experience. That is
right.
Now, if I just now talk about the loyalty programs, I believe it has firstly multiple benefits, starting from creating the brand advocates, driving the repeat business, and boosting the direct bookings. Because specifically talking about the hospitality industry, a lot of dependency is on the aggregator ecosystem like your OTAs and your travel agent. But yeah, if you want to boost the direct bookings, then I believe loyalty program is one medium through which it can be done in a seamless manner. So that is there. Now, talking about the evolution of the loyalty programs in the hospitality industry, I believe it's been quite significant over the years, and there has been a kind of a radical shift. Initially, when I'm talking about the loyalty program, I would say it was all about the punch cards, which they have to swipe and get points, and then they can just redeem their points against the rewards. However, as the competition grew, the customer expectations and the behavior have changed, and they are becoming more and more aware what's happening in multiple industries. Because today we are living in an environment of the connected consumer, where the same person who is experiencing the hospitality industry or the hotel industry, they are also experiencing I would say the retail industry, the BFSI industry, or some other, let's say, QSR industries also. So the kind of experience they want, so that has to be kind of a uniform experience across all the industries. So they have become much more aware also. So that is one of the reasons that hotels had also had to innovate and personalize their loyalty offerings to remain competitive and to retain their customers. If I just have to kind of talk about the overall, I would say the loyalty landscape, which is there. So again, there would be primarily, I would say, basically 4 or 5 types of loyalty programs which are available in the market. Okay, like one of the very common construct which most of the brands would be having is the point-based loyalty program, where the guests earn points for all the engagements they do with the hotel, whether it is stay, dining, the spa, or something like that. They will be able to do that. This type of loyalty programs mainly operate on the simple, I would say,
consumption logic, right?
Yeah. So this operates on a principle of you spend more and then you earn more.
Right.
Within changing times, I would say hotels have also started rewarding the points for the non-transactional engagements, like you like their brand pages on the social media, you refer some friends or someone in the family, you download the app or anything which has to do with a kind of a non-transactional engagement. So most of the time the rewarding has started happening there also. That is the first one. The second one, I would say it is a typical tier-based program where to encourage the greater loyalty, hotels have introduced this tier-based loyalty program where like they are offering different level of benefits based on the number of stays or the points you have accumulated. And as and when you would be moving to the higher tier, you will start enjoying some exclusive benefits. And it could be in the form of late checkout, the welcome amenities, which are going to be there, like which is completely in terms of like how you are placed in which tier that would be there. Then I would say the new kid on the block is the experiential loyalty program. The objective of this program is to kind of keep the guest engaged by setting level of rewards, and this is, I would say, to some extent, very very popular in the high value customers with who are having a high purchasing power. Then another thing which is not only in the hospitality but like across all the industries, it is very, I would say, prominent and something which is being accepted by most of the consumer is the subscription-based loyalty programs. This is on the lines of your Amazon Prime or Netflix, which is there. But like again, same as the case with the hospitality industry also, where I would say this type of program is gaining popularity among the young travelers and the millennials who are there, and guests are willing to pay upfront to get exclusive benefits. One of the main reasons people are liking it is that it provides them instant gratification, and they don't have to kind of wait to accumulate points and then use them against some rewards or something like that. So instant gratification is something which definitely is being liked by the millennials and the young travelers which are there. Another aspect to that would be like one of the program which most of the hotels programs are having is the collation loyalty program. Because the thing is that the kind of business hotel industry is, it is very need driven and intent based. And every time the person might not be having a travel need, that they will be coming and staying in your hotel. So like again, this is something which is kind of picking up the momentum also. So the coalition loyalty program, and as the name suggests, like in this type of loyalty program, it is primarily being operated by more than one brand. Here people are seeing a lot of value also and getting a brands are also getting a broader member base, and they are also able to save on the program cost. Right. Yeah, this was overall, I would say, the landscape of the loyalty and how there has been a great evolution and the radical shift for the loyalty programs that most of the hotel chains are operating.
I really like the way you summarize that, from points to tiers to customer experiences to subscription-based services, and finally, co-creating value with other players in the ecosystem with coalition programs. So that's really amazing. In fact, ITC also has had for a long time subscription-based program in the culinary space, and I've had a chance to avail that, enjoy it myself. So I'm fully aware of what you're saying there. That brings me to my next question. About how the hospitality industry is leveraging solutions like CRM and the kind of customer analytics that they're gathering. How are they using that to enhance the experience for guests?
Okay. So I would say, like, if you just talk about the CRM, so it is actually has become the talk of the town these days. So what we also need to understand that what CRM is all about. So if I just have to kind of say it in my words, so I would say it's a kind of a thought process which aims at strengthening the brand position by, I would say, leveraging on three important pillars, which would be data, technology, and content. The first one, data. So I would say like anything to do with the data management and the analytics. So hotels have to kind of identify all the data sources, like their profile data, who the person is, where the person is based out of, the company he works for. Then the transactional data, where which all hotels the person has stayed, what kind of revenue the person is giving. Apart from the room spend, is he also spending on F&B, laundry, or something else? That would be the transactional data. Then the social data would be there, how people are engaging with your brand, and like what they are talking about your brand on the social platforms. So yeah, these would be some of the data points which would be there. And then the second one would be the personalization. So like when I'm talking about the content, so once you have the data, you have been able to kind of segregate your consumers. The second part is the personalization. I would say through the CRM data which is available, hotels can really personalize the guest experience by curating the I would say campaigns which are specifically tailoring to the needs and preferences which they are having, and also like at the end mile delivery which is happening at the hotels. So when the person is there at the hotel, again based on the data points which are available with the front office or the frontline staff which is there, they will be able to kind of curate the customized services when the person is there at the hotel. The last but not the least would be the technology, which in hotels case would be the automation, where like you just have to kind of map the customer journey and build relevance in the communication at scale. So when I'm saying at scale, so like today, I would say most of the hotel chains would be having the databases which are actually running into millions and trillions. So it is not at all practical to kind of work on this kind of data set manually. So hence technology is playing a very vital role in terms of automating the stuff at scale. I believe like this is something which can definitely be achieved if your CRM solution is being executed properly.
That's amazing. And in this space, I'm assuming artificial intelligence and the algorithms are at play, looking at this data, following certain rule sets to achieve personalization at scales. In some sense, I would say that customers have begun to expect it. As a case in point, when you open Netflix or Amazon Prime, based on our past consumption data, the platforms actively recommend titles that we can watch, and you have AI engines at play there in terms of their recommendation engines. So I would say that personally I have experienced this myself in ITC hotels. I remember once at ITC Gardenia, I had called for a specific pillow. And then a couple of months later, when I went to ITC Moria Sheraton, ITC Moria, that pillow was already present in my room, and I was kind of amazed by that. So it's that human touch with a combination of technology at play. So it was really nice to see that.
It is there. I mean, everything on the data is very much important here.
Absolutely. Dilpreet, let me ask you a little bit about careers at this point. So students might be wondering what kind of careers can we explore in the customer data, customer analytics space, and do they need just a hospitality background to kind of perform these jobs, or is the hotel industry also looking at absorbing people from different backgrounds?
So if I'm talking about the customer analytics, so I believe like one of the biggest advantage in the customer analytics domain is it is very much industry agnostic. So like you don't need to have a hospitality background. So like personally, like if I'm talking about myself also, so like I'm not a hospitality background person. So I'm actually a hard analytics person. So yeah, in terms of, I would say the career which anyone can work on would be like again, depending on your interest and skill set, you can definitely be able to build a career in analytics. So I would say like some of the common yet important roles which one can look forward to would first would be the business analyst. When I'm talking about the business analyst, so primarily the role of the business analyst is to kind of work with multiple stakeholders in the business team to understand the problem and then develop a solution basis the research and analysis which the person would be doing. That would be one. Second would be the data analyst. So data analyst, as the name suggests, like again, they have to work on all the aspects of data. It includes your identifying the data sources, the complete data collection, which is going to be there, data cleaning, the segmentation of the data, which is going to be there, and then interpretation to get the trends and insights that what's working, what's not working, what are some of the opportunity area where the brand needs to work on. That would be there. The third would be, I would say, the market research analyst. So when I'm talking about the market research analyst, so like again, they are primarily focusing on all the aspects of what's happening in the market and then specifically from the consumer point of view. So like what are the customer preferences, what are the buying behaviors people are having, the demographic and stuff like that. What are the market trends which are there? This is something which can be done through exercises like your surveys or the feedback which you are getting from multiple sources. So that would be there. The last, which is I think more to have to do with some hardcore skills which you need and the education background, that's going to be the data scientist. So where you just need to kind of develop, I would say, advanced analytic models and algorithms using your multiple, I would say, languages like Python, R, and a few others, where you will be able to kind of derive some of the predictive insights from the customer data which is available with you, along with, I would say, or in conjunction with the other data point which you are getting internally or externally. So yeah, I believe prima facie these would be top options if anyone wants to start his or her career in analytics.
That's really nice, and thank you for explaining it. So you have a data analyst, you have a business analyst, you have a market research analyst, and of course you have a data scientist. And
Yep.
I'm assuming that to manage all these fantastic resources, you would have someone with a business hat on, guiding the team, giving them direction, setting the tone for the kind of projects that they're working on. And I guess that's where someone like you, who's so senior in this space, would come in, right?
Yep.
Out of curiosity, let me ask you. So let's assume I'm a student who studied hospitality. I did my bachelor degree in hotel management or hospitality. And if I am interested in this domain, is this something that I can learn on the job? So as opposed to specializing in F&B or front office, can I join the hotel industry and work in the data analysis or analytics side?
My answer to that would be definitely yes. So
Okay.
it's just that you need to kind of strike a perfect balance between your technical and the soft skills.
Sure.
Uh, in terms of technical skills, I would say like again something like aptitude and ability to crunch the numbers. That would be one. Second would be understanding of the systems and the programming language. So that is something which is again very very critical. If
Right.
you are from a kind of a statistic background, because like today when I'm talking about someone at a data scientist capability, so a lot of I would say inferences have to be derived through multiple unstructured data which is there. So there
Right.
uh, things like programming and the statistics come into the picture. So that is one of there. And then business acumen is something which is like you need to develop. Again, it will not happen overnight, but over the period of time, you really need to work on that to develop the business acumen. Because the thing is like just by having the data, understanding that thing, if you are not able to kind of relate it to the business trends and all and the business understanding, I think to some extent you might not be going in the right direction. So yeah, this is I would say all about the technical skills. Along with that, soft skills are there, which plays a very vital role. First and foremost would be the problem solving and the critical thinking. When I'm
Right.
talking about the problem solving, like irrespective of whether it's the analytics domain, marketing domain, or the finance domain, like every person is in an organization for one reason, which is they are there to solve some problem, to
Right.
increase the business, to streamline the processes, to kind of cut short on all the manual interventions which are there. So, like again, you need to have a kind of a skill set where you are able to identify and solve the problems. That would be there. Then the second important skill would be the communication skills. So, like whatever you are doing, if you are not able to kind of communicate it well, because like every person might not be having the same kind of mindset with which you are working. So, like again, communication plays a very vital role. That how uh, like simply you are able to give an understanding of what's happening in the business through data. So communication is there. Last but not the least, I would say curiosity and challenging the status quo. So like irrespective of like how advanced your technology is, or I would say how well versed you are with all the processes which are there in your organization, like there is still a scope where things can be done in a better way. Like you always should be ready to challenge the status quo, and you should be having a curiosity in terms of why things are working in certain manner, and is there something which you can do to kind of change that thing to have a positive impact on the business.
I liked one thing, Dilpreet, you have a very structured way of thinking. And I think as a function of the domain that you operate in, the way you were presenting your information also was very structured, I would say. So just a
Thank you.
small
Thank you.
compliment there. A few weeks ago, we were doing a podcast on media careers, and I was interacting with a lady called Rajeshwari Narayanan. She's associated with Lodestar UM. And she was also saying that if you want to make a career in media planning and buying, you need to kind of have a very structured approach, be comfortable with numbers, knowledge of statistics. And one thing that emerged in that discussion, and I think it will also apply in this context, is that to do well in this domain, you need to be a scientist and an artist. So a scientist who can have a very structured approach, look at data, draw some analysis, and an artist in the sense of painting a picture, pointing towards the future on the basis of current data that might be available. So it's really interesting. And it's a domain that I feel needs a lot of qualified professionals, not just in hospitality, but also in other industries. So let me come to the last question, which is that say you are doing really well in hospitality in the analytics. Can you comfortably move to another industry, in this space, or would you be, say, tied down to hospitality?
No, so as I told you that customer analytics domain, so it is very, very industry agnostic. So wherever the end customer would be there, your role will come into the picture. It's just like you need to have your basics clear and you need to have a proper domain understanding.
Sure.
And definitely, it's all about like whether it is hospitality, QSR, retail, or any other industry. It's all about kind of managing the customer data and getting more out of that.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Dilpreet. Thank you for making time in your day to come on our podcast and talk to us about custom analytics and CRM. And it was absolute pleasure talking to you.
Same here, Amit. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Today's session was really interesting. The way Dilpreet explained everything so systematically, broke it down, it becomes quite clear that custom analytics is something that people from other industries can join if they want to do that in the hospitality space. And I would say in the hospitality industry is a great industry to actually learn and hone these skills, simply because you have so many data points, so many opportunities to personalize experiences for guests. And I think the smarter hotel brands are doing that really well. I hope you enjoyed this session. You'll follow us on YouTube to get more content like this. And yes, you can also follow us on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Our handle is the Zista Podcast. Till we meet again, we'd say, stay curious.